It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ho Ho Oh, our Project Potter Christmas special, guys. Welcome to Project Potter. If you haven't been here before, my name is Kyle, your host. Guys, this is our Christmas special. We're doing 25 straight nights of Christmas movie reviews, although this is our first special. This one's a little bit different, guys. It's only 45 minutes. It's much shorter. It's not an actual Christmas movie, but I wanted to put it in here, guys, because it's Christmas time. I think it fit the tone. It just came out. I'm a huge MCU fan, as you guys know. Go check out Reviewers Assemble. And we will be coming back at some time. I don't know when, but Reviewers Assemble, we stopped at Endgame, guys. We'll be coming back, so keep an eye out for that, guys. A little sneak peek at the future there. My favorite thoughts, favorite scenes, my favorite character, my least favorite character, score out of 10, and the Ho Ho Oh rankings, guys, of course, which would be through 16 movies, or 16 nights, I should say. So, guys, thanks for checking out the channel, and let's go. You know what this is, guys. This is a microcosm of Phase 4, and outside of things like No Way Home that have been fantastic, Marvel has had an issue with going with quantity over quality, and that's exactly what this special is. I love the Guardians. Can't wait for Guardians 3. That's going to be great. But I feel like they kind of just put this special out there to just get something out, and that's what Marvel has had an issue with. They are going with just like specials and TV shows and movies and all that. And Marvel's actually like recently been like, we should slow down and put like a hold up on quantity over or quality, because they are literally, people are complaining and being like, dude, this isn't good. The quality is dipped. What made the MCU so amazing in the first place is that every time something came out, the quality was so high, with the exception of things like Hulk, or like people say Thor Dark World. I kind of like Thor Dark World. I'm not saying it's amazing, but go check out Reviewers Assemble for that, guys. Way too many things, way too quickly. And so that's exactly what this is, guys, where this felt rushed. It didn't feel very polished, and it didn't really feel necessary. Parts of it were fun, but like other parts, I'm like, I don't know, man. They put big reveals in here. Like Mantis just being like, the very beginning, she's like telling Drax, like, oh, I'm Peter's sister. I'm like, what? Dude, you're gonna reveal that in a little holiday special? It almost seems like they put stuff like that in there to be like, oh, you have to watch the special. Like, oh, like they're gonna probably play into it in Guardians 3, and it's like, what are you talking about? She's not his sister. And then you go, oh, you had to watch the holiday special, and it's like, On one hand, it's like I like how it's all connected, but this felt like something that was like a big reveal that they just threw in there. And she said it so casually with Drax. She's like, oh, you know that secret I was telling you about? Drax is like, oh, you mean the fact that you're Peter's sister? And she's like, oh, yeah, yeah. I'm like, what? There's never been any reference to this, and there's never been like scenes where they have like acted like siblings or whatever. So I thought that was like really shoehorned in and weird. I will say, guys, I loved Groot, Teenage Groot. Dude, when they start singing the song in the beginning, the song is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's a catchy song. But Groot, when he's just like fucking dancing, dude, and he's having a time of his life, I was like, all right, dude, this I like this. Everyone's kind of standing there, and people are like kind of into it, and then Groot is just like fucking raising the roof back there, dude. Groot's beating up the beat, and I was here for it, dude. So that was hilarious, and his voice is like deeper now. He's like, I am Groot, and it's not quite like adult Groot, but it's like not baby Groot. So I think it's funny that we get to see like teenage Groot, and that should be really fun in Guardians 3. So I was excited for that. They talk about how Peter's so depressed, and they don't really focus on that. Special doesn't let it breathe, dude. Not enough time is built up for the big events in this. Like they're like, oh, we gotta go get Kevin Bacon. And I'm like, oh, that's an awesome concept, right? Because it's only 45 minutes long, they spend like 5 or 10 minutes at the beginning, and then we immediately focus in on Kevin Bacon, and he's like, "Hey, family, hope you're coming home. Can't wait for the perfect Christmas." And then like 2 minutes later, they're at his house, and it's like there's fun little things where the people are freaking out looking at the spaceship. Although these people, dude, so many things have happened now, especially since like Endgame, and everybody knows about the blip and everything. That it's like you think these people would be a little more like, okay, it's just a Guardian ship that's coming down or whatever. And they've probably seen the Guardians, and it's weird. But she's like, did you turn the cloaking device on? And he's like, yes. And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, of course I did. And then he like slowly turns over and like hits the button. And she's like, I think you just turned it on right now. And he's like, no, I did not. And she's like, I saw you do it. I literally watched you do it. I really liked the combination of Drax and Mantis. I thought that was fun. It was different. We haven't really gotten a lot of Drax and Mantis, but I love how they go and they get drunk, and then she's like, look, we're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon, and they're dancing and everything. And then they go, and this lady's like, you want to know where Kevin Bacon is? And she's like, yes. And hands her like a star map, which is weird. I was like, do these things exist? It just gives like the addresses of celebrities. I don't know. That's kind of weird. But she's like, oh, $40. And then she goes, I don't know where my money is. And she's like, okay, I guess not. And then she does the powers on her and she's like, you will get this for free. And then she's like, you will give me all of your money. She uses a little Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi mind trick there. So I like that part. And there's bits and pieces here, guys, that were really enjoyable, but there's not enough of it. And the parts that I liked, there was a resolution 2 seconds later. So like Kevin Bacon comes up, right? And the whole scene where he's like, oh no, guys, I'm all set, go away. And then he's like, oh, I'm calling the cops. And then Drax just breaks in through and they're like chasing him around, and that's a fun scene. But then they go in the spaceship and they're like, hey, we've heard about all your legendary stories about how you saved, the planet by dancing and all that stuff. And he's like, that's not me. That's just a character I play. And they're like, you're an actor? They're like, you're the worst scum. Like, actors are the worst. So they're so mad. And then Kevin Bacon's like, I'm having a good time. And Drax just goes, we hate you. And so he uses a trance on him, and Peter comes out, and there's this nice light set, and it's a nice moment. And then Groot brings over the box where it says like open Peter or whatever, and he's like, guys, I'm running out of air here. And it's so funny watching Peter like walk up, and he's like excited and happy, and then he hears like Kevin talking, and then he's like concerned. And I like those comedic bits. That's really funny. I love that type of humor. He opens it up and he's like, you stole Kevin Bacon. He's like, you abducted Kevin Bacon for me. And he's like, oh, you put the trance on him. And he's like, take him out of the trance. Kevin Bacon, I know you're really upset right now. He's like, don't run. And then he runs and he goes, can you go get Kevin Bacon? And it's like, they want to say Kevin Bacon over and over. And it's like, we get it, guys. It's like, they ran that joke into the ground. And then Kevin Bacon is freaking out. He's scared. And then he's going to leave on the ship. And then he goes, oh, I just want to let you know that like they just wanted to get you back because Peter's been sad and he wanted to get the spirit of Christmas back in his heart. And then Kevin gets a call from his family. And that was a funny part because they go, how on earth do you get service up here? And he goes, oh, a couple of towers, a couple of satellites get you service within 400 million light years. And I was like, okay, funny. And then he gets a call from his family and he's like, hey, honey, is it okay if I'm going to be a little late? These people need to know about Christmas. And I was like, come on, dude, you were just terrified 2 seconds ago. If Kevin Bacon would have been like, nah, dude, I'm good. I'm on an alien planet. Not cool. Take me back home immediately. And that would have been the end of it. It's like he doesn't know those people. He doesn't know what kind of dangerous aliens might be on this planet. And so he goes there, and then of course he just sings a whole song. And I'm like, okay, guys, like really? Really? We're making Kevin Bacon come in here and just sing a song and just harmonize perfectly, and they had no rehearsal time, and he comes in, and these guys that are just playing guitar and everything, and even Peter's like, do you just get those instruments? Like they just know the song, and it's like, okay, even though the guy was like, oh, I only know Christmas from Rocket or from Drax or whatever, and what they told you or what you told them or whatever. And it's like, it's just very messy. And it's like, I know this is supposed to be like a goofy, fun, like feel good story, but it was so rushed. And like, again, that's a microcosm of phase 4. And I've liked parts of phase 4. I don't think it's been as bad as people have said. Like certain things like She-Hulk, I loved. So I thought that was great. The TV shows have been pretty good, I think, but it really has been like, it's not the same as it used to be because they are just spitting out content so much. So there's a little bit of Marvel fatigue. I still love the MCU, but there is a little bit of fatigue, and I certainly felt it here where I was like, I don't think we needed this. And then they have the weird animation stuff with Yondu, and it's like, look, man, this is like a kind of a weird flashback, but it's like you're going with a live action special. I'm sure it was more expensive to get Michael Rooker in makeup effects and everything, but like just get Michael Rooker to do a live action flashback, man, with Peter. And it's like, that would have been better. This animation was so weird and it didn't fit. And it's like, why is this animation? And it's like, obviously because there was a budget, but you don't think that there would be a budget for something like Guardians of the Galaxy. So again, this just feels like they kind of just like spat it out. And it's like, they were like, let's just get something out to get something out. And that doesn't mean the parts of it weren't enjoyable, but it just, I could have completely missed this, and I don't think I would have been any lesser for it. Okay, guys, my favorite character for this one, as much as I want to say Kevin Bacon, I'm actually going to say Drax here. I really liked Drax in this one. I thought he was funny, and sometimes with Drax, it's like hit or miss, where I think he's hilarious, and sometimes I'm like, he's not great. But for the most part, I think Drax hits for me. And so I just thought his jokes were really funny, and I thought it was really funny that he was like, Dave Bautista's like physical comedy is really funny, and he's just like, of course I didn't turn on the cloaking, and he like just goes over there and does it. And just like when he like flips the car and they're like, Drax, you can't just kill people, and he's like, well, nobody told me the rules. And it's like Drax being kind of dumb, but like he's just really good, and like we just know this character now. So I thought he was really funny. I thought it's so funny that he kept bringing up like the walnuts or whatever she calls them, and he's like, "You ate the entire thing," and he's like, "I was gonna have some, but then you ate all of them," and she's like, "No one cares about that except for you. You know what we can get Peter for Christmas? The walnuts or whatever." And they're not called walnuts, but you guys know what I mean. Drax is pretty good. I like Drax in this one. I thought he was good, and maybe that was because we didn't get a ton of him, but I would have liked a little more Peter. We didn't get a lot of Peter. But I like how Drax and Mantis kind of went off on their own adventure, and Drax kind of carried the show. So Drax is my favorite character for this one. Okay, guys, my least favorite character for this one, it's actually going to be Rocket. Not of Bradley Cooper's performance, because it's always great. He's got that hilarious accent. But we didn't get enough Rocket. So this is more of like a less of an acting type of deal, as it usually is, guys. It's usually the role. It's not really the actor or the actress. It's the role and kind of how they're written. In this case, we got like almost no Rocket, and I understand Bradley Cooper's probably really busy, and it's probably hard to get in the VL booth. But like again, if you're doing a Guardian special, dude, do it right. And again, it's like this whole thing felt rushed, and we got a little bit of Rocket. It was great, and he's teaching Dog Cooper, I think it is. It was like the talking space dog, which was weird because we didn't get any introduction to that. And it's like I guess it's from the comics, but like if you're like me and you didn't read the comics, then it's like I know this dog is important, but like didn't live up to the hype, to be honest. And it's like you have a talking dog. That should be the coolest thing ever. A dog who has telekinesis too, and Rocket's like, what good is it if you can't aim it or whatever? They'll probably play more into that in Guardians 3. This whole thing kind of feels like a setup for Guardians 3. I didn't love that we got almost no Rocket. I wish we got more Rocket. The crew as a whole, it was weird to focus on Drax and Mantis, I think. I liked that they kind of got their own adventure, but also like I feel like I wanted more Peter and more Rocket and definitely more Groot. And we get the post-credit scene of Groot being Christmas tree, and then he like is tired of holding his hands up, and he's like, "Oh, Groot ruined Christmas again," and he's like, "Guess we got to do another special," and I'm like, "We really don't." Okay, guys, that brings us to the score. This is a 6.6. I was really let down with this one, guys. I was excited for this. I love the Guardians. I was looking for like top notch, like 45 minutes of like, if nothing else, like this is going to be top notch. It's going to be really polished. We're going to get some great character moments. And we don't. We get a rushed Mantis reveal where she's like, "Oh, I'm Peter Cole's sister." What, dude? That's you just and they handle it so nonchalantly. It's like it was so weird. Kevin Bacon stuff was cool, but they were like really relying on Kevin Bacon, where they're just like, "Oh, okay, Kevin Bacon. Oh, go run away. Oh, look, Kevin Bacon's running away. Go get Kevin Bacon." Blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, we get it, but like they really ran that into the ground. This is a James Gunn project, and I love James Gunn, and I loved Peacemaker. But Peacemaker was rated R, and that's why it was so fun because they could just put all these crazy jokes and stuff. And Guardians is like the PG version of that. And I understand it's a different audience, but like I wish we had more Peacemaker in this and less Guardians. But this was like the MCU being like, this has to be kid friendly, and so they couldn't really go all out with some of the jokes or some of the places they wanted to go here. Had some fun moments, guys, but I just really, really wish that they had spent more time on this or even not made it at all because I mean, like I said, it's the Mantis reveal of being the sister, which is so rushed, and then we get to find out that Bucky's arm is there, but that felt like a cool like cameo, or like that should have been like a post credit scene, but it's just it felt so random for them to be like, "Oh, here's Bucky's arm." Even I think Rocket's like, "Why? How did you get this?" I was excited for this. I didn't have a bad time with it. I just wish it was something more. Okay, guys, that brings us to the Ho Ho O rankings. And guys, to recap, number one, we got Spirited at a 10 out of 10. Number two, guys, Home Alone at a 9.9. Number three, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at a 9.8. Number four, Bad Santa at a 9.7. Number five, The Night Before at an 8.6. Number six, Jingle All the Way, Turbo Man at an 8.4. Number seven, Just Friends at an 8.3. Number eight, How the Grinch Stole Christmas at an 8.2. Number nine, A Muppet Christmas Carol with Michael Caine at 7.4. Number 10, guys, Klaus at a 7.1. So, guys, this one's going to slide in at number 11 at a 6.6, just above Deck the Halls. And I was pretty disappointed with this special, guys. I know it's a smaller thing, but again, I've mentioned it throughout this review, guys. Marvel is just going for quantity over quality here. And it's like something with the Guardians, it's like one of their most beloved IPs or franchises, I should say, I guess, within the MCU by now. I just wish they treated it with a little more care instead of just trying to get something out there. And it's like, if you're going to do a teaser or a special, I know it's obviously not going to be as good as like one of the movies, but like make it longer. If it's going to be short, I don't even have a problem with the runtime, but it's got to be top notch, dude. It's got to be like some of the best stuff you're making, because if you're just putting something out to put something out, again, this was forgettable. The biggest thing we got was that we got Bucky's arm. I don't know Rocket's got Bucky's arm, and I'm thinking, like, when was the last time that we saw Bucky's arm? I think it was one of the TV shows. Oh, it was Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, when Bucky's arm comes off. We don't know what's going on with the arm there. I thought he put it back on, but I guess not. But Rocket having his arm should make for some really fun stuff. He's probably gonna make some really cool inventions out of that or some cool technology. But it just didn't live up to the hype for me, if there was any hype, and it just felt like, again, they rushed it out. So that one's gonna go just above Deck the Halls, guys, which is gonna be at number 12 now. Number 13, the Polar Express at a 6.1. Number 14, a Charlie Brown Christmas at a 5.7. Number 15, Christmas with the Cranks, which is a 5.3. And then number 16, guys, A Christmas Story to 2.5. And that's how our Ho Ho Oh rankings shape up through 16 nights. All right, guys, that's another night of Ho Ho Oh, 16 nights in, guys. Thanks for checking out the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And until tomorrow night, guys, peace.